the chamber to the people. Let the voices ring. Laws are made. Debates take the wing.
I know we are going to be reposed with responsibilities.
Those in support say aye. Those against say nay. The ayes have it.
Watch the Senate and the House of Representatives, where decisions flow. The Parliament, the place to know. The Parliament, see power at play. The Parliament, your window into democracy at work, only on Global Television. Hello and welcome to your parliamentary program, The Parliament, which deliberates on legislative policies from the chambers of the National Assembly to the voices shaping Nigeria's democratic journey. I am Anieti Patrick. Each week we bring you the latest decisions, debates and developments from the heart of the legislature, the bills shaping national policy, the motions addressing citizens' concerns, and the oversight actions holding the government accountable. On this episode of the program, as insecurity continues to pose a major challenge across the country, the House of Representatives has summoned the nation's security chiefs and the Minister of Finance to explain issues surrounding the disbursements of funds for security operations. The resolution followed a motion of urgent public importance moved by the member representing Gumi Federal Constituency of Zamfara State, Suleiman Gumi, who raised concerns over persistent bandit attacks in his constituency and neighboring communities.
Amid growing concerns over persistent insecurity across the country, Representative Gumi stressed the need for urgent and decisive measures to tackle banditry, kidnapping and other criminal activities threatening lives and livelihoods.
If the recurring trend of insecurity and kidnappings in Zamfara State and the entire Northwest is not checked, it will destroy lives and ruin the socio-economic fortunes of the entire Northwest region.
Contributions from lawmakers during the debate showed that insecurity is a nationwide challenge requiring urgent and coordinated action. Several members called for greater investment in security technology, the establishment of state police, and a review of policies that could help curb criminal activities. Lawmakers also demanded more transparency in the procurement process for military equipment and weapons.
The House do summons the Minister of Defense, the National Security Advisor, the Minister of Finance, the Service Chiefs, the IGP, the DGNSS and NIA in a closed-door session to know the releases to them in the last 6 months by the Ministry of Finance. And
part of the solution to uncover the dark box that we are dealing with, Mr. Speaker, is to invest in the right technology to uncover and chase this bad element away from our country.
So I'm suggesting that this House urges the federal government of Nigeria to revisit the cashless policy in a way that will eliminate the large movement of cash.
To fast-track the issue of state police. Mr. Speaker, somebody from Jigawa cannot go and adopt somebody in Oyo. So we politicians, particularly with the lawmakers, we should stand up and fast-track the issue of police, state police.
it is just the truth of the matter that Nigeria currently is bleeding. Whether we like it or not, it's nothing political, it's the current situation.
Following deliberations and amendment to the motion, the House resolved to invite the nation's security chiefs and the Minister of Finance to a closed-door session to provide details on the disbursement of funds and procurement processes.
The House of Representatives has also ordered an investigation into the recent Warri Itakpe train accident and compensation for passengers affected by the tragic incident. Lawmakers say the probe is necessary to address growing concerns over safety standards on Nigeria's rail network. The Green Chamber is seeking answers over the circumstances surrounding the Warri Itakpe train accident that claimed lives and left several passengers injured. The resolution followed a motion sponsored by the chairman of the House Committee on Rules and Business and member representing Ughelli North, Ughelli South, and Udu Federal Constituency of Delta State, Francis Waife. The Nigerian Railway Corporation has confirmed that 5 persons lost their lives in the accident, while several others sustained injuries and suffered varying degrees of loss. Presenting the motion on the floor of the House, Francis Waife expressed concern over passenger safety, maintenance practices, and emergency response mechanisms within the nation's rail transport system. He noted that beyond the loss of lives, many passengers were subjected to emotional trauma, financial hardship, and damage to personal belongings. Members of the House subsequently resolved to mandate the appropriate committee to investigate the incident and recommend measures to strengthen safety protocols across the rail sector. Lawmakers also called on relevant authorities to ensure adequate compensation for victims and families affected by the tragedy.
Concerned that this latest incident has raised serious concerns regarding passenger safety, operational integrity, maintenance standards, and emergency preparedness on the nation's railway system, particularly the Itakpe-Warri route, which has experienced operational disruptions and safety concerns in recent times. Also concerned that beyond the tragic loss of lives and injuries sustained by passengers, many travelers on board suffered significant financial losses, emotional trauma, disruption of scheduled engagements, and damage to personal belongings arising from the accident.
The House says the investigation is expected to provide a framework for improving rail safety and restoring public confidence in the country's transportation system. The House of Representatives has also passed a constitutional amendment bill seeking to establish state police across the country, marking a significant milestone in Nigeria's long-running debate on decentralizing policing and strengthening internal security. The bill, titled A Bill for an Act to Alter the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, to provide for the establishment of state police and for related matters, 6th Alteration Bill 2026, was approved during consideration at the Committee of the Whole, presided over by the Speaker of the House, Tajuddin Abbas. Voting commenced after the Deputy Speaker and Chairman of the House Committee on Constitution Review, Benjamin Kalu, presented the report on the proposal and canvassed support from lawmakers. The proposed amendment seeks to fundamentally restructure Nigeria's policing architecture by creating both federal and state police formations. Under the proposal, the National Assembly would be empowered to prescribe the structure, organization, administration, and powers of the federal police, while also providing the legal framework and minimum standards for the establishment and operation of state police services. During consideration of the report, member representing Birin Gwari Giwa Federal Constituency of Katsina State, Bashir Usman, raised a point of order, arguing that lawmakers had insufficient time to study the committee's reports.
We received this document this afternoon. We cannot be able to know what is in this Constitutional Review Committee. What we want is that Mr. Speaker allow us to go and study this book and come back and discuss about this issue. We have started talking about issue of security 2 days back in this chamber, and there is no issue has been taken.
The Speaker, Tajuddin Abbas, appealed for calm, reminding members that the report had earlier been scheduled for consideration before it was stepped down.
that this document on policing has already been debated over and over before. It was already something that we are very familiar with.
No, that's not true now.
All the series of meetings. It has gone through the committee of the whole before.
He said we received this document long before the meeting.
Mr. Speaker.
It's the document you are familiar with.
Point of order.
So please, let us, for the sake of the insecurity in our country, consider this very important document.
Mr. Speaker,
and then the others we can do when we come back from our recess.
Order, please. Order.
Deputy Speaker and Chairman of the Constitution Review Committee, Benjamin Kalu, presented highlights of the proposal, stating that the amendments would localize security operations and provide financial independence for the armed forces, among other reforms.
And what is it? That state police will make response time to incidents of crime shorter than it has always been. Now it is longer. You and I knows because the centralized authorization point is at Abuja. It is difficult to get response as when due. But with state police, we are going to get our brothers to be able to monitor what is around us. People who understand the language, people who understand the geography, the culture, the religion, people who know us, protecting us. For me, it is best. And that is what the conversation has yielded in this document that is before you. I want to urge us that we show Nigerians that we truly care that our lives are protected.
At the Committee of the Whole, members voted manually by raising their hands. A total of 289 lawmakers voted in support of the bill, while one member absent. Following the vote, the House adopted the report and passed the Constitutional Amendment Bill.
To provide for the establishment of state police and for related matters, and in so doing, approve the bill. And this bill is supported by ayes 289, nays 1, abstain 0, total 290.
The proposed law provides that no state police formation shall commence operations unless established by a law enacted by the relevant State House of Assembly and certified to meet national minimum standards prescribed by the National Assembly. Meanwhile, the House has proceeded on a 2-week recess to mark its 3rd anniversary in office. And to the Red Chambers, the Senate has called on the federal government to urgently revive Nigeria's moribund textile industries and impose a ban on the importation of textile materials into the country as part of efforts to stimulate local production, create jobs, and boost economic growth. The resolution followed the consideration of a motion titled "Need to Revive the Textile Industries in Nigeria," with particular reference to the Kaduna-Kano Axis, sponsored by Senator Sunday Katung, representing Kaduna's South Senatorial District. Leading the debate on the motion during plenary, Senator Sunday Katung lamented the decline of Nigeria's once thriving textile sector, noting that the collapse of the industry has resulted in the loss of more than 500,000 direct jobs and deprived the country of over $2 billion in annual revenue. According to the lawmaker, the continued influx of imported textile materials has weakened local manufacturers, forcing many factories to shut down and worsen unemployment across the country.
One of the most daunting challenges steering the sector on the face is the influx of foreign textiles into the country. Also worried that with the lifting of the ban on textile importation in 2010, Nigeria now has almost 80% of its textiles imported from China, Indonesia, Taiwan, and other countries. This trend is definitely not helping the Nigerian economy in terms of employment, job creation, and needed foreign exchange. Accordingly, the Senate resolves to call on the federal government, Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Trade and Investment as a matter of urgency to ensure the revival of the textile industries in Kaduna and Kano in particular, and the country in general, as this will further create job opportunities for the employment for the unemployed population of our country, thereby addressing youth restiveness and attendant insecurity.
Supporting the motion, Senator Adams Oshomole linked rising youth restiveness and social challenges to the decline of local industries, arguing that industrialization remains critical to job creation and national stability.
For the manufacturing sector, we necessarily create a job-led economic growth that will provide jobs for everyone, leading to more prosperity and reducing the number of idle hands. Sometimes I wonder, those people who were working in Sharada, Ikano, and Bopai, what can they be doing now? The about 30,000 workers that were in Kaduna City alone, what can they be doing now? Over 50,000 workers that were in various parts of Lagos, what can they be doing now? Those around Onitsha, Aba, I mean, we can go on and on and on. Even Zafara, Guso, every part of Nigeria. So I think we should give this, maybe when it comes to prayers, we are allowed to add additional prayers, such as to give this measure the teeth that he needs so that Nigerians can visit manufacturing those things that will create jobs for our people.
Also contributing, Senator Natasha Akpoti Udoha urged the federal government to draw lessons from the development of the textile sector in Ethiopia, which she said had successfully leveraged industrial policies to grow local manufacturing and increase exports.
The cotton cultivation is the fastest way to resuscitate the textile industry because that is the primary raw material. If those of us who know history will know that the Liverpool Street in London was birthed out of the Nigerian cotton and textile. So we cannot do away by separating both. And may I just delve a little bit more on the cotton. Today in America, the cotton industry is the #1 cash crop sector in America that generates $75 billion. And let us look back down here in Africa. Ethiopia grows cotton and generates cloth for major houses like H&M and Zara. And for that, they have about 40 textile houses, as small as Ethiopia is. And from these 40 textile houses, and then the entire ecosystem creates about 50,000 jobs for Ethiopians. So
Presiding over the session, Deputy President of the Senate, Jibrin Barrow, while ruling on the motion, endorsed additional prayers moved by Senator Tahir Mungunu, calling on the federal government to place an urgent ban on the importation of textile materials in order to protect local manufacturers and encourage domestic production.
Call on the federal government, Ministry of Agriculture, and Ministry of Trade and Investment as a matter of urgency to ensure the revival of the textile industry in Kaduna, Kano in particular, and the country in general. This will further create job opportunities for the unemployed population of our country, thereby addressing youth restiveness and attendant insecurity.
With the Senate now pushing for a revival of the textile sector and stricter measures against fabric imports, lawmakers say the move could restore thousands of lost jobs, boost local manufacturing, and reposition Nigeria as a major player in Africa's textile. The Senate has passed for second reading 2 key bills seeking to increase the number of judges in the Federal High Court and the Court of Appeal as part of effort to strengthen the administration of justice and accelerate the dispensation of cases across the country. The proposed legislation seeks to raise the number of judges of the Federal High Court from 70 to 90, while the number of justices of the Court of Appeal would increase from 70 to 110.
Concerns over persistent insecurity across the country, Representative Gumi stressed the need for urgent and decisive measures to tackle banditry, kidnapping and other criminal activities threatening lives and livelihoods.
In order to pass in quick dispensation of justice and bring justice to the doorsteps of the citizenry, there is a need to support this bill that seeks to increase the number of judges in the Federal High Court for quick dispensation.
Most especially, Mr. President, going by the amendment of the Electoral Act has given the Court of Appeal
original jurisdictions on some electoral matters, hence the need to increase the number of justices of the Court of Appeal.
Several members called for greater investment in security technology, the establishment of state police, and a review of policies that could help curb criminal activities. Lawmakers also demanded more transparency in the procurement process for military equipment and weapons.
It is a known fact that no democracy can thrive where citizens and institutions are unable to obtain prompt judicial determination of disputes. As such, it is imperative that the justice sector is well equipped with both human and material resources.
For the way and manner in which they have responded to the need for expeditious dispensation of justice in our country. And of course, I believe strongly that the decision we have taken today, when it goes through the necessary public hearing, will help to decongest the courts and will also help the common man and the rest of us here to have justice quicker and faster, because they say justice delayed is justice denied. Both bills are hereby referred to the Senate Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters to report back to the Senate in 4 weeks.
Following deliberations and amendment to the motion, the House resolved to invite the nation's security chiefs and the Minister of Finance to a closed-door session to provide details on the disbursement of funds and procurement processes for security operations.
Let's take a breather here, and on the flip side, we'll bring you more unfolding of proceeding on the floor of the National Assembly. Please stay with us. It's good to have you join us back on the Parliament. The Senate has ordered the arrest of the former Group Managing Director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation Limited, Mele Kyari, following his failure to appear before its Public Accounts Committee. This order came as a result of his refusal to honor an invitation by the Senate's Public Accounts Committee following an auditor report that indicated the inability of the NNPCL to account for funds put at several billions of naira. At the committee sitting at the Red Chambers, Senator Adams Oshomole from Edo North Senatorial District expressed serious concern regarding the continuous disregard to the order of the committee by Kyari and thereby moved a motion for his arrest. Also note that the committee had extended several invitations to Kyari demanding his appearance and explanation, but to no avail.
Mr. Chairman, this committee must have the courage, the will to deploy its powers as enunciated in the Nigerian Constitution and issue warrant, not tomorrow, today, and bring Mele Kyari, even dead or alive, in law. They will call habeas corpus. Even if he's dead, we want to see the body. And he will account. And you should say, here lies a man who died without accounting for his alleged crime that rose into trillions of naira. We are not talking of billions of naira. At the time when the country is borrowing money, we have huge sums of money that have not been accounted for. There are serious issues not raised by laymen, raised by competent auditors. And the man is joking. Where did he have the money to pay for his medical bill in Germany? If you order your leadership, end to exceptions, end to excuses, I will invoke our powers to order the arrest and of Mele Kyari and of the managing director of NNPC. Both the past and the present, they are guilty of the same offense. Total disregard to the Nigerian Constitution and unable to account for the gross abuse of a major source of revenue, running into trillions of naira.
The move, however, led to diverse reactions among members of the committee, and with the demands for the committee, its chairman, Senator Ibrahim Damkwabo Gombe North, to rule on the motion. In line with the superior argument, the chairman of the committee put the motion to voice vote, while most members of the committee supported the motion for the arrest of the former group managing director of NNPCL, Mele Kyari.
Those in support of the motion say aye. Aye. Those against say nay. Okay. We hereby rule now that anywhere Mele Kyari, the former GMD of NNPC, be brought to the committee, should be arrested and be brought before the committee immediately. The ayes have it. So we set up a committee of 3 later to investigate. And also for clarity, we will raise the warrant and forward it to the Senate President, to execute. That is in respect of the first motion that we ruled. Clerk, the next person.
The chairman added that the committee would forward the warrants to the Senate President, Senator Godswill Akpabio, for his approval. And that's the much we can take on this edition of the program. See you next week on the Parliament on Global Television, which is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. To stay connected, kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen using @Global TV NG. From all of us here, we say thank you for watching. I am Anieti Patrick. Bye for now.